that you're in Google Classroom and you have explored the space a little bit, let us create your own classroom. On the classroom homepage, you will click on the plus icon in the top right hand corner and you will select create a class. When you get the option to read all of the requirements that Google have in terms of creating a classroom, you click I have read and understand and then click continue. Here is where you name your class. The class name is required. Enter the name of your class. For example, I am going to use XYZ Secondary School. The section, it's not mandatory along with the subject and the room. However, if you want to put in a section, if you have multiple classes, for instance, if you have 3 Form 4s or 5 Form 5s, you can say section 1 for the first form class, section 2 for the second, third, etc. And name the subject. Again, it's not mandatory, but it's always nice to have a subject. So my subject will not be listed, but I wanted to call it professional development. And then you can call a room. If you don't have a room number, you can leave it blank as well. And then click the create button. It is creating your Google Classroom. Exploring your Google Classroom. So you have just created your own classroom. Now let's take a quick tour of the features. As I said before, you have your stream tab, and this allows you to create various announcements, and also what you will see is you get little tooltips from Google letting you know what each area is about. As long as you're doing it for the first time. The second time, they think that you would have had a good grasp on it and they may not provide you with tooltips. So if you want to create announcements, you can create an announcement. You could reuse an announcement and also you can customize. So again, here you get to lay out any kind of class announcement, but pay particular attention to the class code. This is your unique class code, and again, if you click on the vertical ellipsis, you would see where you could invite people to your class. You could copy the class code and send it, or you could turn it off altogether. And this is on the stream settings. You can make changes to your stream in terms of how you would want students. If students could post and comment. If you don't want them to post, only teachers can post, you can also indicate that. It's totally up to you. Also, you can show the long version or the short version, or you can hide notifications altogether. It's up to you. But if we go down a little further, if you want to add a meeting link, you could also add a meeting link, right? Also, if you want, you can create your grading scheme one time. So if you want, once a student does not submit their assignment, it automatically goes to 0. You can do that. Or you can create grading categories. For example, if you have an assignment 1, that's the first, and you want it out of 100 points. Then you have assignment 2. And you could create as many as you wish. And then click save. And you have set up your grade book one time. So this is your stream. Then when you click on the classwork area, here you can create various types of assignments. So you can have a an assignment, you can have a quiz, you could have a discussion question, or you can just put materials that you would want your students to read through if you want them to read prior to coming to class. Or you can create your materials using topics. So, for instance, I always like to categorize my learning experience in terms of chunking them. There's a learning theory that talks about chunking. So I prefer to chunk my learning materials so that participants can go to a specific place and get all the materials related to that topic and then go on to another one. So I can have a topic, since this is a professional development, I could have day one and just click add. And then if I want to have another topic, day three, click add. And then if I want day two, I realize I skipped day two, click add. And since I skipped day two, and I could move it around. So here I have my sections, and within each one of them I can add various resources. So I have all my topics, and if I want to create, let's say I want to create an assignment. Right, so here again it's letting me know that I can create various materials using all of my Google applications. I can add a document from Google Drive. I could add a YouTube video. I could create a document using any one of these, or I can upload, or I can use a web link. So let's say I wanted to do a class discussion. I give instructions. I always say to give detailed instructions here, especially if it's an online course. So I can put all my instructions in here, and now I want all students to access it. I can say, okay, in this discussion, it's assignment one. I could create a due date if I want. I could also say a due time, and also I want it to be in day one. If I wanted to, I could also add a rubric. So you could create a rubric, you could import a rubric from Google Sheets, or you could reuse a rubric. And when you're finished, you can click assign. But if you're not finished, for instance, my area is mostly empty, I could save it as a draft and go back to it until I'm finished, and then click assign. But for demonstration, I'm going to click assign so you'll see where it is placed. So it is placed in my day one section, and this goes for any one of these classwork options that you choose. The next tab that we're going to explore is the People tab. Since I'm the teacher of the class, you can add students. If you look in your stream area, as I said previously, you can simply copy the class code and you can share it, or you can invite people to your class. When you invite them to your class using their Gmail account, you will see them listed here as students. And then again, when you get students, you will see grades being filled out here. So this is a basic introduction to your Google Classroom, and as previously indicated, it allows you to create a classroom and you can set up your resources as you see fit. I am now going to end the video, and I hope that this will help you as you go along creating your Google Classroom.